Congratulations, you got a job interview. I'm proud of you. You know what a job interview looks like? This video will help you. I'm going to give you some tips so you can prepare yourself for the job interview. First, it's important you know about the company. It's simple. You go to their website and you look up the company history so you become familiar. If you've never been to that place before, make sure you practice 2 days before the job interview so you can learn where to go. You can learn what street it's on, where to park. This will help you avoid showing up late. Make sure you read about the company policies and rules so you could dress appropriately and dress for success. Make sure you print your resume. I always recommend printing 3 copies. But when you meet the person who's interviewing you, you always pull out 1 paper and give it to them. If there are 2 people there, then you will give each person a copy of your resume. If you have a job coach or VR services, it's important to call them immediately so they can request a sign language interpreter for your interview. If you don't have a job coach or VR services, make sure you tell the company you need a sign language interpreter provided. Also, make sure 2 days before your interview, you follow up with the company. Make sure they already have the sign language interpreter scheduled for that day. Last thing, smile before you enter your interview. Obviously, it's very normal during the interview to become stressed and nervous. Try to stay positive. What's the reasons this company wants to hire you? They're looking for someone who has experience. They're looking for someone who has skills, someone who can be reliable, someone who can be a part of the team and get involved in teamwork, and also someone who's going to stay long term, like 3 to 5 years, that will permanently stay. Red flags. Those are not good. Those are like warnings. If you show up late for your job interview, that's not good. If your attire and your dress is the way your dress is not professional, is also not good. Make sure you make eye contact. Don't be looking around, because you're deaf and hard of hearing. When you use the sign language interpreter, when the person interviewing you who's talking, you have to look at the sign language interpreter. And then when you're ready to respond, make sure you look back over at the person who's interviewing you. So you're the one responsible to look back from the interpreter to the person who interviews you. Eye contact's important. Sometimes a red flag is a question that you're really not able to understand, and you might get off point. But if you don't understand the question, you could say, if you don't mind, do you mind repeating the question again? Don't be embarrassed. It's okay to ask. You want clarification because you want to be able to respond correctly. Another red flag is, during the interview, talking negatively about another company or your old boss. Don't talk about negative things. Keep everything positive. When you go from job to job, the company is going to look at your resume and see that you only stayed briefly at each job. That's not good, because you're going to possibly have to explain the reason behind that. Things not to ask during the interview. How much will I get paid? First, the manager interviewing you is observing your character and your attitude. It's important not to ask that right away. When can I take a lunch break? You can't ask that question. How much will I get for a raise? Again, you're not even hired yet. That question should not be asked during the interview. Another question is, when do I get vacation time? These questions you need to hold on and wait to ask later after you are hired. Sometimes the company manager will tell you how much if they tell you, that's fine. But for you to ask all those questions, it's not professional during the interview. When can I start? By law, a company needs to interview a minimum of 3 other people. And maybe if you're lucky enough, they'll hire you. If not, they will tell you, we need to interview more people, so please be patient. So I can't tell you right now when you could start. You just need to hold off. Do not ask any of those questions, never, during an interview. If you need help, contact your job coach, VR, counselor, your pre-ETS specialist, the professional friends, and family. Good luck.